annual Black Heritage Festival in Lagos is becoming an international tourist event. In nearly a week, organizers of this event have tried to broaden and deepen the knowledge of Africa through symposiums, exhibitions, and of course, carnivals. After the event, I caught up with a delegation of Zimbabweans who were for this event and good talking.
Yes, Zimbabwe Tourism is driven by the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. We are the drivers of tourism in Zimbabwe, and we want to promote, yes, true, responsible tourism. We want also to promote cultural and heritage tourism. Maybe that is why we're here. We're trying to learn one or two things from what we are doing here in Nigeria. So basically, we are a very, very rich in terms of products as a tourism destination. We're a very rich destination. Yes, compared to other African countries or other countries in Africa, more specifically in the SADC region, I think we are compared to none.
You're here, you saw the Lagos Carnival just briefly.
Yes.
And very colorful, very energetic carnival. I'm sure you saw a lot of things, a lot of positives I'm sure you take away from this.
Yeah, I must admit, Nigeria beats us 10-0 there. It was very, very encouraging. We learned quite a lot from the Nigerians. We have not had our carnival or any carnival before in Zimbabwe. We're trying to introduce it in Zimbabwe. This year, I hope we will. If we introduce it, it will be the first edition of the carnival in Zimbabwe. We are planning to have it in May. So we've been on a learning spree. We've been to most countries that hold carnivals, and I must admit, Nigeria has provided us with the bulk of what we want to know. If not 90% of what we want to know, I think we've got it from this carnival.
Do you think that hosting a carnival, for example, will help to portray the image of a country in a very positive way?
Yes, that's why carnivals are held. Carnivals are held for peace. Carnivals are held to unite people, and the peace is important. Because without peace there's no tourism. So we are going to say our carnival is for peace. Our peace is for our tourism, and our tourism is for our economic development.
Nigeria and Zimbabwe similarities. We both have excellent tourism potential. We have natural resources in abundance, but then we suffer from a bad international press. Oftentimes people don't get to hear the good news about Nigeria.
Yes.
Zimbabwe also too suffers that. How do you draw the line between getting in the investor in the tourism on the one hand and thinking about what we can enjoy from these countries, and
yes,
on the other hand think about the negatives?
Unfortunately, we are fighting against a very powerful media. The Western media, CNN, BBC, Sky News, and others are very powerful. We can try as much as we can, but admitted, we are trying to fight a very powerful media. Yes, we are trying in Zimbabwe, we are trying to portray ourselves in the right sense. We're trying to portray ourselves rightly. The perceptions that are given by these medias are negative, but perceptions are real. So we need to unwind the perception and try to create a positive image for our destinations.
Excellent. We cannot separate politics from business, of course, which is a subset of tourism and every other thing which comes with the economy.
Yes.
This year is a particularly important year for Zimbabwe. You just successfully held a referendum where a constitution was approved and agreed to by majority of Zimbabweans.
Yes.
And you're going to have elections in July, also very critical and important.
Yes.
How is it important for Zimbabwe to get this process right?
It is very critical. As you know, we are coming out, we're just about to come out. We're still in the inclusive government. An inclusive government is a government for all parties, meaning there are three major parties in the government. Each party is trying to show the nation what it is doing in that inclusive government. So there are three governments, so to say, because each party is not pursuing a common agenda. That's how I see it. Each party is pursuing a partisan agenda, trying to score against the other party or against the other parties, so that when it comes to elections, there's a basis for them to be voted for. So what is that? You are in one government, it is inclusive, but you are pursuing different partisan ideas, partisan agendas, partisan policies, if any policies are being pursued in that. So the inclusive government, I want to be honest with you, it has stabilized, I must admit. It has stabilized the economy to some extent, but in terms of achievement of governmental goals, it has not done much.
Is there a give and take attitude from everybody involved? I heard President Mugabe the other day say that peace begins from him. If you lose, you accept defeat and move on.
Yeah, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me.
Peace begins with me.
Peace begins with you.
That's what he said.
Peace begins with all of us.
Exactly.
Peace begins with me. Peace begins with you. Peace begins with all of us. That is what the president has been saying. And if everyone can follow what the president has been saying, I think we won't have much in terms of disputing the winner.
Know what the sanctions did to Zimbabwe. Once the food basket of the entire continent is so injured.
Yes.
And we even have some Zimbabwean farmers in Nigeria, doing very well in the agricultural sector.
Yes.
We know how it affected the economy of Zimbabwe drastically.
Yes.
And the government today says it's making slow progress. There's a little achievement.
Yes.
Is Zimbabwe really out of the dark shadows?
From an agricultural point of view, I think Zimbabwe is done well. Yes, sanctions as sanctions will always be remembered for what they cost to the nation. They were said they are targeted sanctions. Targeting who? Targeting the president. Targeting who? Targeting other ministers, not all ministers. Targeting who? Targeting Kaseke. I was on the list of the travel ban myself. But they are saying they are targeted. But if you are targeting sanctions and you are putting a ban, a travel ban, you are sanctioning, you are putting the chief executive of tourism on the sanctions. What does that mean? You are disenabling the whole tourism sector to function. Because if I cannot travel, what does that mean? I can't market my country. So what are you targeting? You are targeting the whole tourism sector. So what do they mean targeted sanctions? They were not targeted. They are affecting the whole nation at large.